Welcome to the Inspired Action Podcast. This is where we have motivational, inspiring conversations and interviews that we hope you'll enjoy listening to. If you're interested in creating more balance in your life, understanding your 5-element energetic nature, finding the path of greatest ease,
or releasing the baggage of this lifetime and discovering ancient alchemy that can help you fly in your life, join us and other inspired actioneers on this alchemical transformational journey.
Welcome to the Inspired Action Podcast. My name is Jay, and this is pod number 40. I'm here with my co-host, Lita Herman.
Welcome back, Inspired Actioneers. So today we're going to continue our conversation about the Health Palace. Now, you have to bear with us. We run a healing center, so we have a lot to say about the Health Palace.
Yeah, we do. And can you believe this is podcast 40?
Oh my God, that's true. It's 40.
Aren't they all really about health?
That's true. That's true.
They do kind of all tip into the Health Palace a little bit.
Yeah. And in our last podcast, we discussed some really important topics. We talked about sleep, such a critical part of our health. We talked about moving our bodies and exercise. And we talked about our mental health, meditation, and things that can help you be stress-free in your life.
And also time management.
That
always comes into all of them as well. So, Lita, last weekend we taught a 9-palace workshop, and it was very interesting because when we talked about the Health Palace, we think of it as the wood palace, the wood element palace.
Yes.
It made us think about how people can maintain their health all day long.
You know what I thought was amazing was how much more time every day would people spend thinking about how they're going to maintain their health than all the other elemental types that attended the workshop.
Yeah, it was like a wood thing.
Yeah, so unless you're sick, if you're not wood, you don't think about your health as much. But if you're wood first, or even second sometimes, health is constantly on your mind.
Yeah, and I always remind everyone that when you work on the 5 elements, you just have to think about this. We have wood everywhere. Everyone has wood somewhere in them. But I think the first and the second, it does get a little, I don't want to say hyper-focused, but it is a daily thought process of health.
Well, like today, we did a workshop this morning, and I forgot to bring water for myself.
So, of course, I brought 2.
Jay's Wood brought 2 bottles of water.
And I knew when I was packing that second one that you were not going to remember.
Now, I have to own up here, guys. I am wood last.
Yeah.
So, not on my mind.
And we've been working together a long time, so I know.
Right. And we know water is really paramount for your health. And I did not remember the water.
That's okay. We weren't in the desert. We were just like 2 hours away from a store.
Don't take me to the desert and
you do
prepared.
Not carry the canteen either.
I'll drink all the water.
On the first 5 minutes.
Right.
What? There's not more water out in the desert? We were in the Gobi Desert, so I can verify it.
That's true.
That she does not carry the water.
I did not have enough water on the camel. It's true. Jay saved my butt there too.
It's okay. So that's why we're extending the Health Palace to one more podcast. And, like I said, all of the podcasts kind of go into this anyways. But today we really started to talk about this conversation we were having about the catching a cold or getting a flu. And I challenged you to do a podcast to come up with a topic that we can talk about. And you said, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about this podcast because this is something we've been working on for a very long time, and we really want to share this idea with people. I personally don't get colds anymore at all, and I like to say I get a cold for maybe an hour, and then I do something to shift it, and we're going to talk about that today. The sooner I do something to shift it,
it's like a little trick.
Yeah, it is like a little trick, and the sooner I do that, the more likely I'm going to be fine. So I've gotten really good at this, and I haven't been sick in over 10 years.
Yeah, I use it too. It does stop things in their tracks. So you know what? Let's go right in. Let's talk about the philosophy behind this and how people can shift their ways of thinking about the common cold. But wait, we didn't say that if you have a minute to rate and review the podcast. It's on iTunes. It's everywhere. You could be listening to this on Google Play or a million other things. But if you're in the iTunes, please rate and review. If you like it, just click the button, click the little star. Or if you want to take a few seconds to just write, I love it. I don't know. It's up to you. But we would really appreciate it. And we do read all the comments.
And we've also been putting snippets of the show up on Facebook. So if you haven't checked us out on Facebook, it's Inspired Action Podcast page. And you can go there and share those little snippets with all
that'd be
your
great.
friends.
The more people that hear about this little podcast, the better.
Yes.
And we really do love hearing from people all over the world that are
And
getting
Jay
it.
also has a pretty big Instagram account, and we have an Inspired Action podcast
Yes,
account.
I have millions of people following me on Instagram.
I'm not an Instagrammer, so I don't
Minus
know.
the 550,000 million. No, I don't.
Is that what they're called? Instagrammers?
Yeah,
No.
Instagrammers.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
I just made that up, I thought.
They're
And
just
billions
people.
of other people.
They're just people who love to follow other people.
Virtual people.
That's right. No, I love my followers. I don't really have a lot, but I'm always open to more. I actually love to follow people probably more than they like to follow me, although I do love to do it. So if you're in Instagram, check it out. You can do Jay McElroy, or you can do Inspired Action Podcast. I'm going to really try to post more. So
Yeah. So before we get started on the common cold and preventing it, I get this question a lot. What's wrong with the common cold?
yeah, well, I don't know if we do there's nothing right or wrong with the common cold, but remember, we have to have something to talk about.
Okay.
So what is wrong with the common cold? I'll play along.
Well,
don't.
Nothing is generally wrong with the common cold. Some of us actually need to rest. And guess what? In our society, it's the best excuse. I used to get sick every vacation I had from my corporate job. It was the precursor to my upcoming vacation. It was like, okay, I'm going on vacation to go get sick.
Yeah.
So it was like my body forced me to rest whether I wanted to or not. Only, that was a major pain in the bleep. Especially if I was trying to have fun on my vacation. It super duper sucked. So it happened over and over again.
Bleep again on that one.
And that is one thing I do not
No, I
miss.
think we could say sucked.
Yeah, we
okay.
can say that. But that's one thing I don't miss anymore. Like,
Yeah.
why do I have to get sick on my vacation because I refuse to take a break during my work?
I know people that happens to all the time. I'm not even sure they're aware of it, that it happens over and over. I don't know, but maybe they do. I'm not sure. But as a culture, I think we all allow each other those little breaks when we get sick. It seems like everyone is kind of obsessed with germs and getting each other sick. And then maybe, I guess, like you said, we give each other permission to go home and be miserable. Just don't do it around us.
Yeah, right.
You can be sick all you want. Just don't get near me.
So here's my question. What if we gave each other permission to take time off from work and go have fun or go rest and sleep just for no reason at all?
Yeah, like you're going to go to the boss and say, hey, I feel great today, so I've decided to go zip lining. I'll see you tomorrow, okay?
Zip lining, yes.
Yeah, how's that going to go, right?
How's that going to go? No,
Yeah.
you're going to be fired.
Dun, dun, dun. But what? But no, that's why I'm one of the bosses, because I like to go zip lining when I'm feeling healthy, not when
Yes.
I'm feeling sick.
At the Alchemy Healing Center, all employees can go zip lining and we will not fire them.
No, just tell us you're like, I'm going to go zip lining, I guess. I don't know. Or you could say, I'm sick, cough, cough, wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
And then go because I'm just going to want to go zip lining with you. So if you don't want me to go, don't tell me that then.
All right.
That's the win-win of the lose-lose.
Yeah. So, we have culturally started going to doctors for preventative medicine. How about preventative mental health days?
Yeah.
Why
Why don't we have healthy days?
Yeah, healthy days instead of sick days.
That's right. What if you're not sick? Do you lose those sick days? No.
Yeah.
You do, but you shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
You should get healthy days and vacation days.
Yes. I do think some businesses are calling sick days personal days.
Personal.
And that makes sense to me. That
Do
works.
they have mental health days?
I think that's the personal day idea.
They just don't want to say, I'm having a mental health day.
I'm having a mental breakdown. I need a day
Day.
off.
Okay.
All right. So I know it's a little messed up in our culture, but I wanted to also say, when my son was little, I told him he didn't have to be sick to take a day off from school. And he never got sick his entire elementary school. He wasn't sick. And every once in a while, he looked kind of ragged and tired, and he just took a day off from school and just lazed around and relaxed, or we went out and had fun, like, went sledding, whatever he wanted. And happily, he'd go back the next day rejuvenated.
Hopefully he didn't say, hey, I felt great. I went sledding.
Yeah, right. Hopefully.
Those teachers are like, what?
Teachers-
Dude? What?
I would get in big trouble, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm sure he didn't say anything. No, we don't want them to think that.
He was very good about that.
Yeah, and that sounds like fun. I think more parents should do that. So why don't we start a healthy days off club? How about hashtag I feel great, but using a sick day today?
Yeah, there you go.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. We should put hashtag wink, wink.
Hashtag wink, wink. I'm sick today. Hashtag wink, wink. Cough, cough.
Hashtag wink, wink, cough, cough. That says
right.
it all.
Right. You in? You want to join that club?
Yes, I want
All
to join that club.
Anyone who wants to join that club, just
But I have to call myself up in the morning and
That's
say,
right.
Lita, I'm taking a sick day because I work for myself.
Yeah. So if you want to join us in the club, just give us an email. Wink, wink. Cough,
Wink,
cough.
wink,
Don't really.
cough, cough. No, no.
There's no such club, but we're just having fun. All right. So let's go. Let's start this. Let's start this going on. What to do, Lita? Tell us what to do.
So the first thing is, why do you get sick in the first place?
Okay. Well, you have to give us more than that.
Okay.
Please.
Well, Jay, you know the answer to this. What's the cause of illness?
I would say resistance.
Yeah, bingo.
Yay. Ding, ding, ding,
ding, ding, ding. So if you have a cold, guaranteed somewhere, somehow, you've been experiencing resistance in your life. So it could be as simple as a cold wind blowing on your neck while you're walking from your car to the parking lot, and your body's really tightening up against it. You forgot to put your coat on or your scarf on, and you feel that cold, and it's like, and then lo and behold, next day you feel sick.
What about like air conditioner if you don't have winter?
Yeah, or air conditioner in the real heat of the summer. You walk into that air conditioning, it's blowing on your neck. Again, usually like around the neck is an area that you can get a lot of resistance, and then bingo, you have a sore throat the next day. So
those lucky people who don't have winters,
where
they need coats and scarves,
right? So Floridians, you are not immune to the common cold.
That was my point. Not just Floridians.
Yeah, all the other people in those beautiful places.
Yes.
We're in Massachusetts right now. But anyway,
we're still wearing coats and scarves.
But it's not just the wind. That's just actually probably not the most common reason you're getting the cold.
I agree.
I think it's that you're unhappy about something in your life and you're resisting it. I mean, maybe it's a change at work, a new boss that you don't like. Maybe it's a person who's been mean to you. Maybe it's your kids are just draining all your energy. But whatever it is, you don't like it, and something in you is fighting it. And it's that fight that causes your body to start to misbehave.
You know that saying, resistance is futile.
Yes.
For the Trekkies out there.
Yes. Remember we had that Picard saying that in one of our podcasts.
Yes. All right. Let's put that back in.
Okay.
Resistance is futile.
Resistance is futile.
So,
but, isn't Lita, we're joking about that, but isn't that what our bodies are supposed to do? Like they're supposed to fight a little bit?
That's a good point. That's a natural process. So it's working with you to help you through. But these are systems and organs that are working overtime to get you to feel better. And in Chinese medicine, being in resistance and not having phlegm can cause worse issues. So the phlegm is your friend. It's buffering all the anger and negative feelings inside you. And that's something to really embrace. So you
want to embrace that phlegm friend?
Yes.
Phlegm, I love you.
No. It's there because you are pissed off. So if you're not going to stop being pissed off.
I'm not sure we could say that. Yeah, I guess we could say that.
Yeah,
Boy, you are on a roll today. I'm not even going to list off all the ones you've already bleeped out. This has got you frustrated.
Yes. If you are really pissed, I have to say that word, then you might get phlegm. And guess what? It's going to help your body neutralize the anger. So that's a good thing. But let's just say you don't want the cold in the first place. So the philosophy is, if you don't want to get sick, you have to stop fighting, which means you have to deal with your anger and understand why you're mad.
Yeah,
and then and buffer and diffuse it in yourself so the phlegm doesn't need to come.
Years ago before I started to do this stuff, I used to say, I don't want to get sick ever again. I don't want to get sick ever again. Wrong message to the universe. Mm-hmm. Okay, you just get sicker. Mm-hmm. So now I like to embrace the Wu way of cold and flu season. Easy peasy. I just roll right through it. And today, it's super rare for me to get a cold and almost never, ever, ever get the flu. And if I do, I can usually stop it within the first hour or the day. It's like such a super cool thing to do. So Wu way your way through the yucky part of the season.
Yeah, and it's about being at ease and also really being honest with yourself about what you're resisting. So remember, we talked about this. The best protection's no protection. What are you fighting?
Yeah, that's kind of like the underlying of the Wu Wei, I think, of the cold and flu season.
Yeah.
I think I just made that up. The Wu Wei of the cold and flu season.
That just doesn't sound right, but okay.
But the best protection is no protection, really.
Right.
So let's have some examples. Give us some examples of the resistance is futile theory.
Okay. So let's say someone's really bugging you at work, and now you're pissed. Just that example again. So you're frustrated. So that anger or frustration is sitting inside you, and maybe it's there for a day or longer, and suddenly at work you feel like you're coming down with a sore throat. That would be a common thing. It makes sense. Anger creates heat in your body, and a sore throat is a sign of heat. So of course that's what happened, right?
What? Frustrated? Whoever on this planet gets frustrated at work or angry. Gosh, I don't know about that. I don't know why we're all not sick.
I think 80% of the people that walk into my clinic frustrated are talking about work. So I'd say a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it could easily be, home, kids, partner, neighbors, traffic. I can go on and on and on. But news.
Right.
Politics.
So now instead of sitting there stewing about it, you should immediately release that heat. And there are points on your neck on either side of your voice box or what we call the Adam's apple on a guy. And you can use your two forefingers to touch those points. There's like a little dip right next to either side of your voice box, and you can release that heat in your throat.
It's super easy to do. If I can do it, anyone can do it. It really works. I'm not kidding. At least on me, it works. How's that for a disclaimer?
Yeah, there you go.
Do not put this in like stone that Jay said, if I do this, you will never get sick again. I'm just saying for me, it's super easy. It works, and I really love it.
But that's a good point. I want to remind everyone that if you have any kind of unusual situation and you're sick in a deeper way, maybe a long-term illness, you should always consult your doctor, and you should always do that in terms of any alternative medicine in general. We're just here providing information.
Alternative medicine is, a choice.
Yeah.
Right. And we're just offering educational ideas of things to think about. Your own health in terms of any of the health palace stuff is something you need to work on with yourself. And of course, if you need it, your doctor's help, whether that's Western medical, facility, acupuncturist, acupressurist, whoever's on your health team, just be smart on what you decide to do.
Good point.
Okay.
So,
not to be a downer.
But I think it needs to be said, because we've been talking about health now for 4 podcasts, and we do need to say we're just providing information. We've not met some of you we've met, but many of you we've not met, so we don't know your particular situation.
Yeah. All right, so let's keep going, and let's talk about the cold points that you want to talk about. What to do if there's energy or resistance that's built up.
Okay, so the idea is that when you do any of these cold points we're going to talk about today, like the one on your throat, you want to release the energy that's built up there.
I like to think about it when you're talking about this. To explain it is you take the top off of a jar, like the lid of a jar. You always turn the lid counterclockwise to open it, right?
Yes. So in terms of the points, you make little tiny counterclockwise circles to release the heat in your throat or whatever point you're using. And you visualize, something releasing. I often say it's like a pressure cooker, those old-fashioned ones with the little jiggly knob on the top. It would
a lot of young people are going to be like, what, Grandma? What are you talking about?
On your Instapot.
There you go.
The steam
that little jiggly
comes
in the
out.
back.
Yeah. So you want the steam to come out. So and while you do your throat point, for example, you want to visualize utterly relaxing your throat.
Wait, is the Instapot now replaced the steam pressure cooker?
Yeah, totally. I don't think anyone's going to buy an old-fashioned pressure cooker anymore.
Wow, that was a hip thing to do, huh?
Yeah.
Let's take the oldest thing in the kitchen and slap a new name on it. And
it's basically a pressure cooker.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love mine, by the way. I'll put a link in the show notes, but I just love mine. I use it like every day.
All right. So
I think it's called a one pot.
A one pot or an Instapot, yeah.
Or either one?
Yeah.
How about an Insta one pot? I don't know.
But
they're everywhere, and I really do love mine. I just wanted to know if that was a steamer, right? The little pressure cooker.
Yeah.
Which I never owned. Did you own one?
No, my parents had one.
Yeah, my grandmother had one.
Yeah.
So I was right, Grandma, with that grandma joke.
Okay, Grandma. All right, so let's get back to your throat.
Sorry.
So you may notice when you're doing these points, if you have a sore throat, how much tension is in your throat, because the throat is the bridge between your mind and your body. And in Chinese medicine, we call that the bridge between heaven and earth. Heaven is your head and earth is your body. And so it's called a window to heaven point, or a window to the sky point. So it's about cutting yourself off from yourself because you're so pissed. And part of being angry is not really facing what's going on and not totally embracing how you feel about it. It's really that simple. So you're just mad. And so when you do this point, you can think about relaxing, releasing your throat, and at the same time asking yourself, what is this tension really about?
Yeah, and don't ignore it. You know when it starts to happen, and so you got to kind of jump on it, and you can't really move forward until you take that action.
Right.
Okay, so let's keep going. To this point, you have your fingers on either side of the little throat bump there.
It's called the larynx.
The larynx. I can't say it. I have a Rhode Island accent. We don't say larynx in Rhode Island.
No, that sounds like the Lorax.
That's right. So put your fingers on your Lorax. That sounds wrong. And then you do little counterclockwise circles like the jar that
Yes.
all jars open counterclockwise now.
Yes.
So you do little counterclockwise circles. Then what? Is that it? We're done?
Then you're done, but we have some more points.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to add to that a technique called Gua Sha, which we're going to talk about at the end.
Yeah, I was wondering when you're going to mention the real secret to never getting
so
sick.
hold on, because I want to talk about a couple more scenarios.
Okay, just hold on until you get the real information that you need.
Yes. So, so if your cold doesn't start in your throat, then what do you do? So let's say you have a tickle in your nose or the palate of your mouth or a runny nose. So, there's other points we want to talk about. Your eyes feel itchy.
Oh, eyes is a good one too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now you need to release the resistance in your face. So there are these points that we'll put all these in the show notes that open the face. And they're like the master points. So there's a lot of great points on the face, but we love these particular points because they do something called open the orifices.
Okay, that's just wrong. No.
I know, it's a funny phrase. It means it opens your face, your mouth, your nose, your eyes, your ears to let go of that resistance, that itchy energy. So these points are below the outer corners of your eyes. So if you touch the outer corners of your eyes and you draw a line downward to the bottom of your cheekbones, and where it lines up with the corner of your eyes is the point, and you'll feel a little notch there.
Right, so we do the same technique, right? Counterclockwise little circles?
Yes, you relax your face. You imagine all that icky energy coming out of your orifices.
Or icky? Or both?
They're
or
both.
Itchy and icky energy.
Yes. And if you have phlegm that's starting, imagine any phlegm in your sinuses vaporizing away and disappearing entirely. And you may even feel something moving in your sinuses as you do that. And you relax your face and let all that stuff out.
Yeah, I do it. It is amazing. It really works. I know we're making jokes about it, but it really does work.
It really does. And it's good to know that it takes some practice. Don't be disappointed if the first time you start trying these techniques that you still get sick. It kind of takes several tries before you get the hang of it. And I have this client who used to come to me at least once a month with the common cold. I mean, poor thing, she was just sick all the time and she was sick of it. So I taught her how to do these points, and she came in a few more times still frustrated because she kept saying, oh, it's not working. And I said, just keep it up. Don't lose hope. And then the last time she came in, she said she's never been sick since, and the points and techniques really work for her. And it's been 5 years now that she's not been sick. So she's still, she comes in once in a while just for a general checkup, but she doesn't really need to come in. She's so happy.
So now she has the uncommon cold.
Right.
It's not common. She doesn't have, it's uncommon.
Oh, that's great.
Great. So that's cool. So she's not sick all the time.
No.
And I'm sure you've taught this to so many people, and we talk about it every
Yes.
once in a while. So,
Yeah.
I think that let the resistance go. There's a few of these things that you can learn. Take a little practice, and I think you'll do really well with that.
Yes. Okay, so let's move
Wait,
on.
let's go to the tickle in the throat scenario, because
Okay.
I'm not sure that you covered that one.
Right. So we talked about the sore throat, but some colds start with a tickle in your throat that really is the beginning of a cough. You know that feeling? So those are a good point for that is at the base of your throat, in that dip at the base of your throat, you know, where you wear a choker necklace. And it's called the suprasternal fossa, just in case you're wondering what that's called.
Maybe you shouldn't be wearing a choker around your neck.
No,
right.
right.
You're going to get it tickled.
So it's very tender. So when you touch it gently.
Okay, and again, we're going to do that the same top of the jar counterclockwise.
Yes, you're going to do counterclockwise circles. And that tickle in your throat often means you're really annoyed. Maybe you're not angry, but just annoyed, and you're not liking something in your life. So we need to release that.
So it's not like tickle me Elmo. It's more like I'm going to strangle
Tickle
Elmo.
me, I'm going to kill you, Elmo.
Well, you're a little punchy today.
Yes, yes.
Well, usually it's me who's getting all the bleeps, but okay. All right, so this is a tough one. People will be sitting there all day
Yeah.
doing their circles on their throat.
Yes.
Not tickle me Elmo, not tickle me
Right,
Elmo.
right.
Okay, so
So-
so then it releases after a while?
Yeah, but this one is also really good. This is where Gua Sha comes in. So-
Finally.
Yeah,
We talked
so-
some Gua Sha. But wait, not yet, right?
Oh, right. There's one more point we need to teach you, and that's called the Jing Well point.
That's my favorite. Jingle well, jingle well points. No, it's jing well.
Okay, that was really good. Okay, so after you do any of these other points we talked about, there's one more sort of master point for when you're just starting to get sick. Now, when I'm talking about like in the first half day, like don't try doing this the third day you're sick. You're past any of these things
So
that we're
first
talking
hour,
about.
first day.
Yeah, first
night.
hour,
Yeah.
first night. You get it as soon as you can. But this one's the easiest to do. So if you can't do any of the others, do this. And it's the corner of your pinky nail. So it's called a nail point or a jingwell point or a jingle bell point.
Jingle well point.
Jingle well point.
You can't even say it. Jingle well point.
Okay. So if you look at the nail, and at the base of your nail is your nail bed, and it's located where the corner of your nail meets the base of your nail. So that corner where the vertical and horizontal edge of your nail intersects.
How about we do a photo in the show notes? It's kind of,
Yeah.
you know, that saying a picture is worth 1,000
Yes.
words. Do we have a video or a picture?
Yeah, we'll put a picture in the show notes. And
I think we probably can, since we have a whole entire course on cupping and Gua Sha. I'm sure we can find a short video,
yes,
right?
that's true. That's true.
We probably find hours of videos on just this.
And that's a good point. We do have classes on Gua Sha, and that is particularly for people who practice like massage therapy or alternative medicine. But anyone can take the
If
class.
you're into it, if you have a lot of kids, or if
Yeah.
you're just tired of getting, the cold or the flu, or
Right.
but all right. So let's finish up.
We're
with the
getting ahead of
pinky.
ourselves because
Yeah.
we're going to talk about Gua Sha in a minute. So in terms of the pinky point, it is the corner of the pinky nail that's not next to your ring finger. It's the outer one. So that's
Any
the
other
point we're
Jingwell
working
points
on.
that they should do for this?
Well, this is the master point. So I'm just going to say go for the corner of your pinky nail, and you're going to do the same idea. You're going to do a counterclockwise direction. You can also scrape down away from towards the tip of the finger itself, and like a little scrape. That's also possible.
Okay, so now can we talk about Gua Sha?
Yes, now we can talk about
That's
Gua
the
Sha.
really powerful thing, and the reason why I wanted to do this podcast when we talked about it is because people need to know about Gua Sha.
Yes.
So we made everyone wait like forever.
like forever, like 10 minutes.
Well,
Okay.
in podcast time, that is like forever.
Forever.
Okay, let's go. Like it's forever.
Well, anyway, okay, so I like to think about how whenever you're coming down with a cold, the back of your neck tenses up. Do you know how that works, Jay?
Sure, I think it's getting it like right now. I feel like it's tensing up a little. No, I do
Okay.
feel that, for me personally, I feel that symptom more than any of the other ones first.
I just had it yesterday, and I reached for my Gua Sha spoon, which is a tool we use, and I lightly scraped the back of my neck, and voila, I wasn't sick.
Yeah, and for anyone who doesn't know about Gua Sha, and the tool that we like to use, and there's hundreds of them, different kinds. We use a simple ceramic soup spoon, and it rocks.
It rocks.
But there are other kinds. We have, like I said, we have a whole course on it and a whole book on it, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But it's
So-
really amazing. Just grab the spoon, It's kind of cool. So give a little history of Gua Sha.
So Gua Sha has been done for thousands of years across Asia, and it may have started in southern China or Vietnam, and no one knows how old it is, but it has been done by family members to other family members and passed down literally from grandparent to grandchild. It's truly folk medicine.
Yeah, I love it.
And it means gua means to scrape, and sha means sand. So it's like you're scraping sand out of your skin.
Okay, that is not the feel-good visual of the summer. Let's scrape the sand out of you. Then you'll feel better.
Okay, all right. Well, it's not painful as much as it sounds.
No, it's really not.
Right.
It's not painful at all.
Yeah, because you're lightly scraping and you're really releasing energy. Not sand.
Correct.
Or
it's
you
just
one of those
translation.
And it's become really popular lately. You may have heard of it more for a treatment, a beauty treatment for your face, because if you type in Gua Sha on Google, you're going to get a bazillion hits on facial Gua Sha, which is wonderful if you've never had it done. It feels fantastic.
It is definitely more popular worldwide for facial and beauty treatments, but here and in the clinic, mostly, we're talking colds and flus, or, I use it all the time for aches and pains, overdone muscles. I have a spoon by the side of my bed. I have one in my backpack. I have one on my desk. I'm not kidding. I have them everywhere.
Yes, you're a little obsessed.
Well, I just know that for like 30 seconds and then it's done. I feel better.
Yeah. And, I should say we also do facial Gua Sha at the clinic because it is really awesome. There's also facial cupping. And so we're not going to get into cupping in this podcast, but Gua Sha rocks. And in particular, it's wonderful for preventing the common cold in general and just staying healthy.
Yeah. And, if you're kind of into this a little bit, what do you know? We wrote a book on it.
Yes.
It's called The Big Little Gua Sha Book, and it completely rocks on Amazon. And, we're just so thrilled that it's done so well.
It's helped so many people learn more about all the benefits of Gua Sha. And we wrote that book to provide people with all the background information they need to do Gua Sha for themselves, because we don't have a grandparent showing us how to do it. So it has pictures and instructions on how to do it. And I really recommend you check it out if you do want to delve into trying it out.
Well, when we talked about doing a podcast on the last part of the Health Palace, and we talked about Gua Sha, I was like, I'm not sure that's going to be great for a podcast. But wow, you know what? This whole little thing I think is going to help a lot of people stay healthy.
Yes.
Stay healthy is the key.
Yes, because, I don't know about you, but I got really sick of being sick all the time. When for example, when my son was really little, you go to daycare, you get, if you're a parent, the whole routine. I got sick because my son, goes to daycare. So why not use a technique? You can help your children even stay well, because Gua Sha works for children, and you do it very, very lightly. And we explain all this in the book. And I should mention again, we have an online class. So if you're really into it and you're a mom or something, feel free to take the class.
We'll put the notes in the show
practitioners.
notes. We'll put some links to the show notes.
Yeah. Well, the reason that it is important is there are contraindications, and you should be aware of them. And just the technique itself is very specific. So, there are a lot of videos and stuff on YouTube, but a lot of people don't really know enough, in my opinion.
I say short learning curve, lifetime to master it.
Yeah. That's a good way to think of it. Yeah.
So, you don't just grab a spoon and start wailing and getting the sand out of you.
Yes.
But no, it is simple and easy, and we love it. So if you want more, check the show notes. We'll put some links in there.
And the other thing I should say, just because we talked about Gua Sha, we're doing this pod on the common cold. But if you do get the book or the class, it's wonderful. Gua Sha is also wonderful for if you hurt yourself.
Yep.
So if you get a little muscle pull or
That's
a
why I
muscle
said
strain,
aches and pains.
Yeah.
Overdo it. I Gua Sha just about everything.
So in the clinic, I do that every day. I mean, people come in every day with aches and pains. Just yesterday, someone's, was stretching. They pulled a muscle in their rib cage of all places. And guess what? Gua Sha, boom, it can.
And it goes great with cupping. If anyone does cupping, it's fantastic. So we're into it. We love it. We thought we would share it. So this is for the last of the Health Palace for now.
Yes.
We might come back to the 9 palaces down the road, but for right now, we hope that helped you understand the Health Palace a little bit. So I say, if you want to rock the Health Palace, stay healthy, think like a healthy person, and just be healthy.
Yes. And for your homework, if you choose to accept it, try out these points. Next time you're feeling unwell, don't worry about it if you still get sick. Just keep on trying. Trust me, over time, you might get the hang of it.
Pay attention to your body.
Yeah.
Look out for the resistance.
Yeah. There you go.
And see if you can kind of cut this off at the pass.
And the next podcast, we're going to talk about the Wealth Palace.
Whoop, whoop. Another wood palace.
Yeah,
the Wealth Palace.
The Wealth Palace.
That's
So-
great. All right, talk about the app.
Okay, so we wanted to just let everyone know that we put a new meditation up on the Inspired Action app, which you can get in the App Store or on Google Play. And it's called Relax Your Body, Clear Your Mind, Open Your Doors. And the idea here is that we wanted to help you release your resistance. And one of the ways to do that is to open your doors to universal energy, so you don't feel like you're draining your energy. You're allowing universal energy to fill you up so that you're not empty all the time.
Is that a free meditation or one of the paid premiums?
That's going to be a free meditation.
Yay!
However, I think in the next podcast, we'll be able to announce we're going to release a number of new meditations that are going to be part of the premium app, which is not very expensive. And you can join that through the app and you'll have access to a lot more meditations.
So we'll still have a lot of free ones, but we'll
Yeah.
have some premium ones that are a little more special, a little more longer or
Yes.
shorter or more specific. Excellent. So that's it. That's a great place to stop. And thank you for listening. And we'll talk again soon.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Inspired Action Podcast, and you've reached the end. Woohoo! Why not celebrate a little bit and click that subscribe button right there? We love having you with us on this journey, and we want it to continue.
You can also rate and review this podcast. And if you have already, thank you so much. We read all reviews, and your reviews help other people find this podcast as well. You can also be a part of this podcast yourself by submitting a voice recording message and emailing it to us at Lita@inspiredactionpodcast.com or Jay@inspiredactionpodcast.com.
And if you want, you can join our Facebook group or follow us on Instagram.
Join us next week for another Inspired Action conversation. And thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening, and remember to hug the dog.